Good Saturday afternoon. It is the 11th of March, and we have a couple things to talk about. Severe weather with some large hail possible as a main threat today and tomorrow with gusty winds and maybe an isolated tornado, but those will be storms that form just south of the warm front. Also, time change tonight. I know everybody loves that. And then we're going to look at the frost and freeze potential for early to mid next week as well. If you're on YouTube, click that like button, thumbs up, and click subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, it is free. Click the subscribe button, hit all for notifications, and you will be notified every time we post content on YouTube. Okay? Alrighty, let's get right into it. Alrighty, like I said, everybody's favorite time of year, spring ahead time. Tonight, before you go to bed, those of you that have clocks that don't automatically set their time forward, make sure you spring them ahead an hour this evening before you go to sleep. The actual time change will happen at 2 a.m. In the morning. We'll spring ahead an hour after that. So that's what's going to happen tonight. And then we've got severe weather to talk about as well. Alrighty, slight risk of severe weather today from eastern Oklahoma and far northeastern Texas into central and southern Arkansas and far northwestern Mississippi. Some of the major cities here included Little Rock, Fort Smith, Pine Bluff, over to Conway, and of course, like I said, southeastern Oklahoma and far northwestern parts of Mississippi under the slight risk. Marginal risk for Dallas, Memphis, Tulsa, Arlington, Texas, Plano, Texas, over to, like I said, Tulsa as well, down to just north of Waco as well. So about 10 million people or 10.5 million people are under the gun for severe weather today. And there's going to be more tomorrow, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So scattered severe thunderstorms today, or I'm sorry, this afternoon and tonight, capable of large to very large hail, will be possible this evening and overnight, especially across eastern Oklahoma through central and southern Arkansas. Okay, so let's go over the threats. So the biggest threat for this evening into overnight is very large hail, and there's a hatched significant probability here in southeastern Oklahoma through central and southern Arkansas for possibility of getting 2-inch diameter hail or larger. And I'm going to have a graphic up here in just a second on how big hail could get tonight with some of these storms coming through. Like I said, there's going to be basically a stalled out frontal boundary and a warm front trying to move back north very slowly. So any storm that gets out just south of this warm front or hugs the warm front and just south of it will have a potential of maybe producing a supercell into maybe a tornado, but that's an outside chance. Like I said, the major risk is hail and gusty straight line winds. Here's a straight line wind risk, basically 5% area for eastern Oklahoma through Arkansas and far northern parts of Louisiana. And here's a tornado risk, basically along and south of this warm front, 2% chance of seeing a tornado within a 25-mile radius of any given point in this area. So like I said, the major threats are going to be hail and gusty winds. There's an outside chance of a tornado, but like I said, it's a slim chance, but it's not zero, so we have to mention it. Let's take a look at tomorrow, Sunday. Slight risk of severe thunderstorms basically across portions of the Gulf Coast states here. Scattered severe thunderstorms capable of producing large to very large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes is possible tomorrow across parts of the southeast. Some hail could be very large, in excess of 2+ inches in diameter, which is about hen eggs. To probably tennis balls. So I'm going to show you that graphic here in just a minute after I get done with tomorrow's outlook for severe weather. Now, tomorrow, the tornado risk is a little bit more elevated across the southeast, panhandle of Florida through southeastern parts of Alabama, Georgia, basically just along the Gulf Coast here. 5% chance of seeing a tornado in within any given point of 25-mile radius of any given point around that area. 2% chance on the outside of that. Wind risk is elevated tomorrow as well. So basically, like I said, along the Gulf Coast, southern Mississippi, southern half of Alabama, and southwestern half of Georgia as well is going to be under the gun tomorrow. And let's go look at hail. Like I said, biggest threat's going to be hail. Significant hail threat, basically southern parts of Mississippi through southern tip of basically of Alabama through the panhandle of Florida. This is including Mobile, Alabama, and vicinity. So significant hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater, and the outskirts of this got a 15% likelihood of 1 inch in diameter or greater across the area. All right, so I was talking about hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter, and then the hatched areas 2 inches or greater in diameter in those hatched areas the next for today and into tomorrow. So 1 inch in diameter is quarter size hail. 1.5 inches is ping pong size. Golf ball size hail is 1 3/4. 2 inch hail is hen eggs. 2.5 inches is a tennis ball, basically falling out of the sky. And then as you get a little bit higher, 2 3/4 inches is baseballs. And then you get up towards getting close to 4 inches. We're talking softballs to grapefruit size hail. But I would say today, like I said, today, tomorrow, biggest risk is golf ball to probably tennis ball size hail across eastern Oklahoma through central and southern Arkansas in those hatched areas. And then tomorrow, Sunday, along the Gulf Coast in those hatched areas of southern Mississippi into southern Alabama into the panhandle of Florida with hail risk in excess of 2 inches. So we're talking hen eggs, tennis balls, maybe as large as baseballs we'll see in some of those stronger storms. All right, let's take a look at future radar. This is just for the area we're looking at for today. Then I'm going to focus on the southeast here in just a minute. So here's future radar. This is as of 10 o'clock this morning. This is the latest HRRR. And then as we go forward, like I said, we're going to have general rain and a few rumbles of thunder, maybe some pea-sized hail with some of these stronger storms out here in eastern Arkansas this morning. This is ahead of that little warm front that's coming or trying to push forward, and then we're going to kind of calm down this afternoon before storm initiation starts happening around 5, 6, 7 o'clock tonight across eastern Oklahoma, far southwestern Missouri. This is 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Look at these. We got some big time, looks like supercells that are trying to develop out here in southeastern parts of Oklahoma. Like I said, with some of these bigger storms, going to have a lot of updrafts with them. Super cool. This raindrops, freeze them, and then keep tossing them around in the upper atmosphere, and basically just a roller coaster ride until those hailstones get large enough to where it'll overcome that updraft and it'll fall down. So depends on how strong the updrafts are and downdrafts, updrafts, etc. To get these huge like gorilla size hailstones of tennis balls, baseballs or so, which will wreak havoc on roofs, cars, and you don't want to be caught outside in some of these storms if this happens. So stay weather aware, have a way to get warnings. These will move in later this evening. So 8 o'clock, here's 9 o'clock. Big time storms just south of this warm front across southeastern Oklahoma into southern Arkansas here, with a few elevated storms just north of this warm front up here in parts of northwest Arkansas. Go to 10 o'clock. Big time. This is congealing into a line with these darker pink colors. Represents some very heavy thunderstorms. Like I said, hail is going to be the main risk with a lot of this. So central and southern Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, you're under the gun for the major severe weather for tonight. So this is 11 o'clock. Lots of storms ongoing. And then general rain and a few rumbles of thunder, maybe some pea-sized hail within some of these stronger storms as you head towards Tennessee and northeastern Arkansas tonight. So this is 12 o'clock tomorrow morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Like I said, this congeals basically into a nice little line of storms with some bends and curves in it. So there's going to be, like I said, straight line wind potential as well with these storms. And as you get to a 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, these things are going to start ramping southeast as we go throughout the day. All right, I backed it up into the southeastern parts of the area here. Had to go back to the 12ZH though, so a couple hours earlier run. So just showing you the potential of where these storms could be. Like I said, this line's going to scoot east, but then another little impulse is going to come in behind it and really ramp up the severe weather across, like I said, Mississippi into Alabama and Georgia as we go into tomorrow afternoon. And anything that develops out ahead of this line of storms will have a potential to bring a tornado or two in through this area, through the southern, basically, Mississippi, Alabama, through the panhandle of Florida, southern parts of Georgia as well. And then this develops into a nasty squall line and starts rocketing down through northern Florida here as we go into 4 a.m. on Monday morning. So after this cold front sweeps through, basically Sunday through Monday, very colder than average air coming in. So 15 to 20, maybe 22 below average as we get towards early to mid next week. So we're going to have frost and freeze potential, especially across the southeast, where you guys have already seen trees come out, flowers come out, bushes come out. This is going to be a damaging frost and freeze potential coming, and this is going to progressively get worse as we go out through the rest of the month. So, and then a major nor'easter is going to happen up here across New England, where they hardly have gotten snow this year, this winter season at all. So winter is fighting back. The southeastern ridge is basically going to be gone. The ridge is going to build out into the southwestern United States. I've been talking about this in the supporter hub for about a month now, that this was going to happen. And here we are with a damaging frost and freeze potential that's going to be coming into the southeast as we go into early to mid next week. All right, this is the potential for Monday morning when you wake up, 7 a.m. These are possible low temperatures across the area. Upper 30s, 40s, actually, all the way down to towards the Gulf Coast. You're probably thinking, well, that ain't that bad. How's it going to frost and freeze? Well, I will show you the future days here in just a second. This is just a step towards what we're going to get towards next week, especially across the southeast, okay? Freezing. If you get below 28, that's a hard freeze. So anything that's came out, leafed out, bushes have leafed out or whatever, will have a damage. Will intake some damage on some of those trees, bushes, etc. So, like I said, freezing is possible all the way down through northern Arkansas, through parts of Tennessee, through western half of or so of Kentucky. Basically below 28, all Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and like I said, far northeastern parts of Oklahoma as well. Said 40s to low 50s all the way down the Gulf Coast. This is going to be a rude awakening for a lot of us, especially in the southeast, that basically have been living through summer kinda or late spring for most of the winter across the southeast, and finally the southeastern ridge is basically going to disappear, and it's going to allow for this cold air to just plunge towards the southeastern parts of the United States. So like I said, mid 30s possible across Virginia into parts of North Carolina. So this is it's got some frost potential on Monday morning. Now, as we head towards Tuesday morning, look at this. You got below 32, basically northern parts of Mississippi in through parts of central Alabama, through northern Georgia even. Frost potential probably in for the Atlanta suburbs, just south of Atlanta as well. Same for central and central Alabama through central Mississippi as well, through central Arkansas, and then basically north of I-40 in Arkansas, you're going to be freezing, below freezing, and then frost potential just basically south of the interstate down towards the southern parts of Arkansas. Now, you get down towards, like say, northern parts of Louisiana, or like right around Monroe, 39 possible for a low. Like I said, give or take. This is not going to be exact numbers, but showing you the trends of where we are going. So as we go towards Wednesday morning, freeze potential all the way through basically northern half of Alabama again, northern half of Georgia, through the Carolinas now. All of Virginia is below freezing. Getting to the mountains, they're in the teens. Get into basically Tennessee, Kentucky, they're well below 28 degrees up here. You get towards the Gulf Coast, they're in the upper 30s across the Gulf Coast. You get just inland, you got the frost potential, 35 in southern parts of Alabama, up through central Mississippi as well, and mid to upper 30s across northern Louisiana into southern half of Arkansas as well. Like I said, this is just the first of many cold shots that's coming. We're going to have a nor'easter as well. I'm going to show you that. So this model showing you could wake up to some probably mixed rain and snow or some sleet pellets across northern parts of North Carolina into Virginia as we go in through tomorrow. And then here comes the severe weather across the south. And then this thing's going to really start ramping up into a coastal low, which we have hardly seen this season at all. Northeast has not seen much snow, especially the big cities. A lot of people across Arkansas, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri into Oklahoma, parts of southern Illinois has seen way more snow than they have over here in the big cities of the Northeast, which is pretty rare. So here comes this major nor'easter that's possible. This is dumping some snow just northwest of New York City, and actually west and northwest of New York City, and then up through Massachusetts, Rhode Island. And this sucker means business. 974 low. There's going to be a 60, 70 mile an hour winds. Big time surf coming in. Probably some coastal flooding, coastal erosion as well. And very, very heavy snow. Wherever this heavy band sets up, we're going to probably talk about 2 to 4 inch rates per hour across the Northeast. And then this sucker gets out of here by midweek, kind of stalls around, dances around, and then kind of gets out of here before the next storm system comes into the region by later next week. Now, I'm looking at snow depth change basically for the Carolinas because you're going to be borderline temperatures. So maybe a dusting of snow as we go into Sunday across, like I said, northern parts of Carolina and western Virginia here, especially the mountains, you'll get some snow. Then as we get towards New England, monster snow rates of 1 foot to 2 feet possible in parts of New England. This is going to be, like I said, that they have not seen anything like this. Especially across the big cities this winter. So this is going to be a major story this week. Like I said, severe weather. We'll talk about this here in just a second. Let's flip gears here and go towards a wrap up of what we're going to expect today and tomorrow. Alrighty, big story next few days. Severe weather. All right. There's, like I said, slight risk of severe thunderstorms from eastern Oklahoma, far northeastern Texas, into central and southern Arkansas, and far northwest Mississippi. Scattered severe thunderstorms capable of large or very large hail will be possible this evening and overnight, especially across eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas. And like I said, there is a slight chance of maybe a tornado, especially if any of these bigger storms can develop south of that warm front and tap into more instability and more moisture south of that warm front. All right, then tomorrow, slight risk of severe thunderstorms for portions of the Gulf coastal states, basically from Mississippi, Alabama, Panhandle of Florida, into southern parts of Georgia. Scattered severe thunderstorms capable of producing large hail or very large hail in excess of 2+ inches in diameter, which is the size of hen eggs, possibly up to tennis balls, maybe baseballs possible, in with these bigger storms. Damaging winds and a couple of tornadoes could occur Sunday across the parts of the southeast. Like I said, some of the hail could be very large, in excess of 2+ inches in diameter tomorrow. So stay weather aware, have a way to get warnings for the next few days. And like I said, after this sweeps through, we're going to be dropping way below normal, 15 to 20, maybe 25 below normal across a lot of the southeastern parts of the United States into the east, where they have not seen this year, and damaging frost and freeze potential is coming. I have been talking about this for a while in the supporter hub. If you want to become a supporter and support the work we do, if you're on Facebook, click the supporter button up on our homepage. It's $4.99 a month. You get, so basically, give you a preview of Supporter Hub. We go over a lot more in detail: long range weather, snow possibilities, severe weather opportunities. Then once we get into summer, what the tropical, we have tropical updates, content we normally would not post on our public page. So we also get first dibs on seasonal content. Like I said, hurricane. We're having basically a tropical outlook, hurricane outlook coming up in the next few weeks. That'll be on the Supporter Hub. Also, we have giveaways from time to time, and then we have our own discussion page on Facebook. Now, if you're on YouTube, you can hit that join button on our page. There's various levels of supporting us, supporting the work we do for you all, and I'm posting the videos that I post over on Facebook and the long range over on YouTube, and the members only on YouTube. So thank you all for watching today. Stay weather aware. Have a way to get warnings. And remember that time change tonight as well. And then, like I said, after this severe weather runs through the southeast, 15 to 25 below average is possible, and that's just through midweek. We go beyond, it could even get colder than that. But like I said, frost and freeze potential is very elevated across the southeast, central and southeastern parts of the United States, where everything's already came out. Trees, bushes, etc. This is a big concern. And like I said, I've been highlighting this for a while on the Supporter Hub.